Welcome to another episode of Pods and Pies. Today's episode is brought to you by...
What? The pie.
The pie.
The pie.
This is our first pie experience.
Is this the first one?
This is our first one.
Dude, we've
yeah.
done Domino's. We've done Little Caesars. We've
Summit.
done Summit Inn.
We've done them
We've
all.
done...
I think I've had the pie before.
We've done... Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks good.
Okay.
But we're looking for... All we get is one pizza for every episode, right?
Yep.
And once a week when we do an episode, we just need one pizza company to sponsor us so we get one free pizza a week. That's all we're asking is literally one
Just
free
one.
pizza. But
Yeah.
Here, grab a...
All right, so we got...
grab
This
a
is a
slice.
buffalo chicken.
I love buffalo chicken.
Maybe it's
It's great.
buffalo bacon. I can't even remember what I got. Buffalo something.
Dude, it looks good.
So today we have...
This is girthy. It looks thick.
Yeah, this is good. We have homie, our homie, CEO, co-founder of Homie, Johnny Hanna. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So my first question to kick this off is, in order to get in the Big Deal Club, do you have to have white alligator skin boots?
That was not a requisite,
Okay.
but the club is now, from what I understand, canceled.
It's canceled. Okay.
What's the
So-
big deal club? What is that? I didn't even heard of that.
I don't even know what it is. I had beef fish. I'm like, dude, what's something I can ask him that he'll be like, that's a good question. And he sent
So
that to me.
The Big Deal Club was one of the best things that we ever created at Property Solutions. It's now Entrada. So we had Employee of the Month every single month, and we rewarded somebody. And then we had Big Deal of the Month, which was a self-nominated award. So you would just proclaim your big dealness, your big dealhood in front of the company.
Yeah.
And you would say, I am a big deal because of this. And then if it was like a talent, you would showcase it. If, there were just so many random things. Like one guy had an extended uvula, like longer than most people. It sits on his tongue. He's like, I'm a big deal because I have the longest uvula known to man. And he opened up his mouth, took a picture, and then we posted it up on the
way.
big screen, and it showed this long uvula hanging on his tongue, and it was super gross. And I'm like, yep, you're totally a big
That's a
deal.
big deal.
So,
That's a
yeah.
big deal.
So, yeah. So we had a really good time, and, yeah, all sorts of awards. In the majority of our company meetings, I think, focused on the big deal. So it got a little out of hand, but it was good camaraderie, brought the company together. We had a lot of fun with it.
What's your big deal? Did you ever do one?
I started the company and I co-founded Entrada and started the Big Deal Club. So that's from
So your big deal is starting the Big Deal Club.
Yeah. You can't start a club for big deals if you're not a big deal
Okay.
yourself.
I love it.
And I did have white alligator skin boots.
Did you really have some?
I still have them.
I know.
Nice.
I know, Danny. You're going to ask him this, but I want to go back to the beginning with this Entradas thing.
Okay.
So anyway.
Well, ask him what?
Well, no, I mean just like starting from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I know, He's always
yeah.
got the best questions.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
I always
didn't
have
know.
crappy questions.
No. Okay, so yeah, take us. Are you married? Yes, married.
Yeah, married.
Kids.
Lots
How many
of
kids?
I have 7 kids and 1 boy coming in September. So
Number 8 coming in September.
Yep.
What's their
Our
oldest to youngest?
Our oldest is 12 years old.
Oldest 12.
So yeah, 8 kids in 12
8
years.
kids, 12 years.
Yep,
You are
and
insane.
they're all boys except for my little 4-year-old princess. That's
All boys.
Hallelujah, dude.
yeah.
Dude, you got a full team.
Little
Yo,
girl.
Lots of boys. Yep.
Any sport? Are they all playing sports? Anybody doing anything?
You know, I told my wife when we were dating that I'd have 5 boys in a row when we, when we were
yeah.
engaged, and I said that'd be my basketball team. They don't care for sports at all. Like, they like acting. They like they do a bunch of these stop motion videos.
Okay.
You know, they like art. They do art classes every Saturday. So
Awesome.
maybe they'll get into sports later on.
Yeah.
That's been my passion, but I'm fine if they don't.
That sounds like
Yeah.
my oldest.
Yeah.
He's the exact same way.
Okay.
Yeah. So, one girl.
That's
How old's your
crazy.
girl?
4.
4.
4.
What's her-
Okay.
Do you mind saying her name?
Hope.
Hope.
My
Oh,
wife
yes.
always hoped for a girl.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Dude, your wife is a saint.
Yes.
She is absolutely.
8 kids, man. Good for you.
Good, man. That's amazing.
Okay. All right. So, did you grow up in Utah?
No, I grew up in Pueblo, Colorado.
Pueblo, Colorado.
Pueblo, yeah, just
Okay.
south of Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Little town. And then my parents, we had a ranch outside of town, so I grew up on a cattle ranch. but I was allergic to horses and cattle and hay, so
Yeah.
I had a really rough life as a kid. But my parents split. My dad moved to Billings, Montana. We were talking earlier, so he lives up there. So I split time between seeing my dad in Montana and my mom in Colorado. So I actually claim both states.
Okay. Did that get you out of chores, like having allergies?
Oh,
like,
my
I
goodness.
can't
No,
do
not a-
anything with the hay,
not a
Dad.
bit.
Sorry.
Nope.
Nope.
No way.
Not a.
Sorry.
Not even a second.
Sorry, son.
Yeah, man up, cowboy up.
Cowboy up. I love it. Okay, so when did you come to Utah?
So I graduated from BYU Idaho in
Okay.
Rexburg, and then that was in 2003, and moved down here right after that to help start, my first company with a couple buddies, Property Solutions.
Okay.
So we won they were at BYU. We won the BYU business plan competition that year. That was my senior year. It was my senior project that I used to help graduate up there, and then we moved down and just got the company going.
Was it Rick's when you were there, or was it BYU Idaho?
It was Rick's my first 2 years,
And then they changed.
and then they changed, and I just stayed there for the next 2 years.
Yeah. So you're co-founder of Property Solutions, now Entrada. And who are the other, I guess, founders? Or who helped you start it?
Yeah, one of the other co-founders, the current CEO, he and I grew up together in Billings, Montana. So that's where we knew each other.
Oh,
so
okay.
when my dad moved up there, his family had moved to Montana, so he was the new kid. I was one of the new kids. Like, we both went to Billings our senior year of high school. So again, that's where I bounced back and forth. I did a bunch of school in Colorado, a bunch of school in Montana. So he and I always wanted to work together, and he moved from Spokane, Washington, and one of his really good friends he stayed in touch with, and he ended up co-founding the company with us. And then my other current co-founder of Homey, Mike Trianfo, he was also a co-founder of ours at Entrada.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he
Oh,
was our
okay.
CTO and co-founder. He's now our CTO and co-founder here. So
Sweet.
he coded everything there for us at Entrada, and now is coding everything for us at Homey.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I have a quick funny story. Maybe it's not funny. So
Maybe-
Property Solutions.
You can take a bite while he's telling the
Oh,
story.
yeah,
that's
there
true.
we
That's
go.
true.
Get in on
That's
that.
a good opportunity. Yeah, good opportunity to take a bite. So I remember, like, when I started my company with my business partners back in 2004, maybe a year or so after that, I remember we came down into Provo, went across like the train tracks, and there was this old office building, and I met with Dave Bateman. Me and my business partner, Matt Visser, met with him because we wanted to, in a sense, integrate, our software of background checks into Property Solutions, some kind, right? Anyway, so that was the very first time I met Dave, and I don't remember meeting anybody else, but from there, it's a very long, interesting, not so, flattering story, at least of stories, multiple stories over like 10 years of at least my interactions with Dave. The company is different, right? I have one of my best friends ever is Jared Hunsaker.
oh,
Right, I grew up playing basketball with Jared, and then I have other friends there, like these other employees. Like I love the company, I love the people, but never really had a great. It was just interesting and odd, the relationship with Dave, and I didn't know, like I said, didn't know anybody else. But that was when we first were had at least some type of working relationship with Property Solutions. I mean, that's back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Jared, one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of City League ball with Jared.
Have you really? Yeah, that's so cool.
Ah,
Yeah.
dude, I love it. Freaking Jared. So where'd you meet your wife? Did you meet her? Did she grow up in Utah? Or did you meet her?
Yeah, she's from Orem. We bought a
Okay.
house about a half mile from where she grew up. I met her about 3 years into starting the company. So 2006 is when we met, and we got married within about 6 months. So it was, I had dated a bunch of girls. I'd proposed several times. I'd struck out multiple times. And
Did you?
it just was, we knew. She knew, I knew. It was like, I don't know why I wasted my time proposing to so many other women, knowing that like she was the one the
What was
whole
her
time.
maiden name?
Albee.
Albee. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she lived about a block away from Orem High.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. I went to Mountain View.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you knew Jared.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
So, can we talk homie?
Yeah.
So where was Homey birthed? Where did that idea, like, how did that all come about? Like, you're at Property Solutions now, try to write, and then one day you're like, hey, we got this idea, let's do this. I mean, what did that look like?
Yeah. Homey's not, like, people have tried to do it before. Before Zillow existed, people weren't finding homes on their own. You had to hire an agent to find a home. Now you can just do it on your phone. So I don't know, for me, my first home that I bought was right by UVU. And when I went to sell it right before the crash, I hired an agent who stuck it on the MLS, like every agent does. And it sat there because it was right before the crash. It was happening at that time. And I'm like, hey, what else are we doing to market this thing? He's like, all you do is stick it on the MLS, and if people are interested, they'll come by and buy it. Well, I built a website. I had website templates from Property Solutions, so I built a website for my home. I bought oremtownhomes.com. I boosted traffic to it, and I found my buyer. And I still paid 6%. And that's where I'm like, this is nuts.
So you actually had, like, this wasn't just an idea. You had the experience.
Yeah,
and you said this sucks.
Honestly, just about everybody I've talked to who's ever bought or sold a home feels similarly when you go to the closing table and see how much money you pay. But fast forward to 2015, it was time for me to leave Entrada. I'd been there for 12 years, felt like I needed to do something new. And so I told my co-founders that I wanted to move on and do something new. Had no idea what I wanted to do, but transitioned over a couple months, and my last day was January 31st of 2015. And they threw me a going away party. And I didn't, for the last several weeks, I didn't have anything to do. I was just kind of hanging out. I'd already hired a couple people to take over my roles and make a good transition. But that afternoon, I had a guy reach out and set up a meeting, Mike Peregrina, and he pitched me on the idea for Homey my last day at Entrada. And I didn't know what I was going to do next. And he shared this whole pitch of, automating the real estate industry. Let me know how hard it'd be to, battle the realtors, but that somebody had to do it. Somebody's eventually going to disrupt that industry.
Did you know Mike prior to this?
No, he had just been introduced to me. He had been at Mercado Partners, a venture capital fund.
Yeah.
And so really sharp guy, I could tell this guy was bright, and he pitched me on it, and then he told me he was thinking of naming the company Homey. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm in. I don't actually even care what we're going to do. The fact that it's named Homey, like, this sounds awesome.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Sign me up.
Yeah, my wife wasn't a huge fan of the name at the time. She loves it now. But yeah, and then I reached out to my old co-founder, Mike Triunfo, and we got the team together, and within 4 months founded the company and took off from there.
So starting out, there's the three of you. That was in 2015.
Yep.
Fast forward to today, how many employees do you guys have?
We have a little under 300.
Okay,
right now.
so 300 employees in 5 years, 4.5 years. You guys are killing it. No signs of slowing down.
We thought COVID was going to hurt, and our numbers are bigger year over year than they were, 2019. We're still growing. Like, we're hiring. We put together a forecast thinking it was going to be a little bit of a bumpy road, and real estate total listings fell off a cliff. Like, people just didn't want to sell their home. So for the last several months, listings have been cut by about half. But there's still about the same number of buyers that are interested. And so there's just fewer homes available. So it's a really hot market. So anybody that's selling their home, it sells in record time. And you get multiple offers right now.
Oh, yeah.
So and with the market being down, like, the total number of transactions are down, but hours are up. And the way we see that too is that people are more interested in saving money now than they ever were. Before, everyone has 6 or 7 realtor friends, and you don't want to necessarily have that hard conversation like, hey, I'm going to use Homey. But right now, with the need to save cash, people are having those hard conversations and signing up with us.
Yeah. So how does that process work? I say, okay, talk to my wife, we're going to sell our house.
Yep.
I go to homey.com.
Yep.
And what's next? Like, how does that work?
And then on top of that explanation, speak to how did it truly disrupt the real estate agent industry, and why would they be pissed or not be pissed, or I'm very intrigued in where that disruption is, either on the back end, the front end, or the whole process. But yeah.
Yeah, it's in a lot of different ways, and it's not just the realtors who are upset at us, but the process goes, you go to the website, you can either sign up to talk to a realtor, because we have a bunch of realtors that we assign. Each client gets a dedicated realtor. So in that sense, we don't necessarily see realtors going away because we are realtors. The difference is most realtors do about 3 deals a year. The average agent does 3 deals a year. Like, I can't tell you, like in your profession, I'm sure you sell more than 3 contracts a year. And I don't know how you'd call yourself a professional otherwise, but in this space, there's 19,000 agents that average 3 transactions a year. So we just thought, man, if we just did more transactions, we can lower the price to the consumer. And if we built technology to allow our agents to do, maybe 10 sales a month, or 5 sales a month instead of 3 a year, it would just be revolutionary.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've been doing. So our agents, average a little under 10 transactions a month. And, working with 10 clients every month it's not super taxing. They stay busy, but our realtors don't have to hunt for business and fight other realtors. People like you guys would just go right to homie.com, sign up, and then one of our realtors would introduce themselves, say, hey, I'm your assigned agent.
So you can't, like to Danny's question, you can't just go in. Can you create your own profile and put up your own pictures? But no matter what, you're going to get introduced to somebody.
Yeah, and they'll help guide you through the process. And what happens is you fill out your information, you list your home details, and then we automatically, so this is where the tech play comes in, is in typical realtors would have to order photography, they'd have to go install a lockbox, they'd add all your information to the MLS, to Zillow, to KSL. All of that is automated. So this is partly how our agents can work with 10 clients a month. They don't have to
spend the time to do all that crap.
No manual data entry. The second you hit submit on homie.com, a photographer calls you and then sets up a time. A lockbox is installed, a yard sign is installed. All of that just happens the second you hit submit. And then when your photography comes back, your realtor at Homie reviews it with you, says, here are the photos, any ones you want to edit, do you want to rearrange them, do you want to redo the photo shoot? We guarantee high quality photos. So if you think of that too, with an agent who does 3 deals a year, you have no clue what you're going to get. If it's your buddy who just got his license, you have no idea. So the consistency is one of the things we've disrupted. So beyond that, if you also think of the pressure that somebody who does 3 deals a year has on themselves to make that money, if an offer comes in, they're going to say, take it. This is such a good offer. Because on a $300,000 home, there's 6%, it's about $18,000. And if they sell it for $10,000 less, it's only a few $100s less to them in commission. But to you, that might be a $10,000 difference. It's real money. So our agents are very low pressure. They just have, again, leads that come in that they work, and they're paid a salary plus they get bonused on NPS, so our client satisfaction scores. And so it's no pressure. It's like, hey, this offer came in. We think it's a little low. You can take it if you want, but your home's only been on the market 3 hours. You're probably going to get another offer. You can create a bidding war. So again, somebody who does 10 deals a month versus 3 deals a year, they also get experience with real estate in the area, the local market. So the disruption is getting rid of the pressure, eliminating the high fees, and then with tech, smoothing out the process and making that consistent. So beyond that, we're a mortgage company. So when you go to buy a home with us, we then can help you get a loan. And we don't pay the similar loan officer commissions that are out there. We also reduce those and pass the savings back to you. So we guarantee to give you the lowest interest rate. And then we're a title company, so we can help you close.
Sorry, I just saw that the other day, right? You said on LinkedIn you posted refi with us. If we can't get you a lower rate, we'll give you $500, right?
We guarantee $500. So you either get $500
or you're getting a lower rate. Yeah.
So that's where everything we've created, we've tried to make it a no-brainer. We're now a title company. We do closings. You need home insurance when you buy a home. We're now a home insurance. We bundle in auto because...
And these things are all new within how long? Like the insurance and title and stuff like that?
Insurance is about a year old.
Okay.
Title's about a year and a half old.
Yeah.
Our mortgage company is about 3 years old. We did that a little while ago. But yeah, It's all lined up. We've just acquired existing companies that are professionals in those areas and then just tied them into the platform and made it streamlined for the consumer instead of having to jump around and pay high fees at each step of the process. There's so much added fat that we've gotten rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where, you look at 19,000 agents here in Utah. Just in Phoenix, we launched Phoenix, there's 45,000 agents, 1 agent per every square mile, or no, 5 agents per square mile in Phoenix. It's kind of crazy.
Dang.
But that's where, if you look at the total transactions that occur and look at how many deals our agents do, you really only need about 300 realtors total in the state of Utah to handle all the volume with our model, not 19,000.
Not 19,000.
So this is where the more market share we gain, and we're about a little under 7.5% market share here in Utah. We're the biggest brokerage at this point in total listings. And, if our agents do 10 deals in a month, there's a few agents that probably we're going to rely on those deals is their side hustle, or side income.
So are those agents actually employees, or are these agents still independent, and they come to you and say, I want to just, with approval or whatever, apply with you or work with you? It's not the way it is. Like, they work for the company. The agents work for the company.
We just had a Century 21 agent I met this morning that just moved over from them. Like, instead of having to battle all these 19,000 agents, you probably have a couple in your neighborhood that are trying to convince you, like, no, use me, I'm better than them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you both are charging the same rates. Somebody can maybe lower it. You don't know about that consistent process. So we have so many amazing realtors applying with us because they can get consistent leads. They don't have to cold call anymore. They are W-2 employees. We give them stock options in Homey. We give them health benefits. So and then they don't have that pressure for their friends and family that hire them,
Right.
to help them, like, hey, you should buy this more expensive home. It's like, well, I gave you the parameters of what I'm looking for. Like, quit showing me homes that aren't in my parameter. Like, that's the most
Why
common.
do people then still why do people go out and hire agents now still? I mean, it's just because it's just tradition, they just don't know, or they don't want to spend time looking for houses at all. I mean, it seems ridiculous now that there's a Homey type option. Why would you even hire a real estate agent?
Lack of education. People just don't know what we do.
Yeah.
That's it. And I have had a few people, like, I was interviewed on one of the news stations in Salt Lake, and the lady that was interviewing me, right before she went on air, she says, I hate you. And I was just like,
Whoa,
well,
dude, amazing.
that's not great for me.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun interview.
Yeah, this is odd. And she's like, I'll tell you the full story after. But she says, I wanted to use you guys. My home was in Sugar House, and I knew it was going to sell in a few days. And I didn't want to give $26,000 to my brother-in-law. And so we still had a little bit of time. I'm like, finish the story. And she's like, yeah, well, my in-laws told me, nope, your brother-in-law's our family realtor. That's who you go with. And so she felt pressured. She did it. Home sold in 3 days. She gave away $26,000. And she's just like, I'm so frustrated. And then I'm like, tell that story. Don't even interview me. Just tell that story. And she's like, no way. Like, she doesn't want to have an awkward family reunion.
Yeah.
So that family pressure is real. But again, during COVID, this is where it's like, look, $26,000 can go a long way. Like, nobody knows what's going to happen. And even now, in a few months, like, the government's not bailing out companies right this second. That money's done. So we don't know what the future looks like. So $26,000 in your bank is a nice cushion for rough times to come.
Absolutely.
So what does it cost? Oh, sorry. I don't know if you got.
No,
I'm just wondering, like, what if I just wanted to put my house on Homey, even if I just wanted to test the market? Like, how much out of pocket am I paying just even to see the bids, even if I don't even want to sell? Like, what would I have? I imagine people do that.
Yeah, people do that.
I mean, what would it cost me just to see?
Nothing.
Really, like, but taking pictures though. I'm talking like taking pictures.
We eat the cost.
No, you don't.
We do.
Wow.
So the thing is, like, people that even go down that path, like, homes are selling so quickly. If anybody's really interested, and homes are selling for crazy high prices.
We've had, on my street alone, we've had 3 sell in the last month, and all 3 sold within like 2 days.
Yeah.
They're all over asking price, and it's fast.
So,
it's quick.
So if a home's going to sell in 2 days, why pay tens of thousands of dollars? It doesn't make any sense. And it's not a knock on realtors, because they do help you negotiate. There are some things they really are intelligent about that they can guide you through the process. But the model is messed up. That's what's wrong. The high commission fees make absolutely 0 cents. And with our model of making money on the loan, the title, the insurance, we can subsidize that realtor fee being so low to the consumer. So we charge $2,000 at close. But you sign up with us, you don't pay anything until it sells.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool.
So like is appraisals and stuff, is that all automated as well? Like how does that work when I sign up and I say...
And the appraisal would come like kind of when it was close to selling, right, or something.
There's a couple.
I mean, how does that cost? Like when I say I want to sell my house for $500,000, like what are you guys looking at to say? Well, we think you should list it for $450,000.
So every realtor, including us, has access to the MLS data to where we pull all.
Just look at comparisons,
look
right?
at comparables, and then we have software as well that helps.
You're basically your own MLS too. I mean, can't you? I mean, you guys can pull your own comparables off, like a homie comparable.
Absolutely, but we always reach out to the market. I mentioned we're 7.5%, so still 92.5% out there. So we grab all those comps, and we have a pricing team. Instead of we assign you a realtor, but we have a pricing specialist team that all they do all day, every day is price homes. So again, the traditional agent does 3 deals a year. They're also your professional pricing agent. 3 deals a year. I mean, our guys do that, every couple hours. So they do thousands of homes throughout the year. So they get really good at pricing homes to know right where it is. And then they give you strategies like you might want to list a little low and get people frothing, and coming in and making offers so that you create a bidding war. You can start high if you want. Like they'll give you the different rationale behind it. But here's the biggest problem that people don't understand is when you go to hire an agent to help you buy a home, buyer agents and realtors are allowed to tell you that it's free to hire them. And that's the biggest load of crap ever. If the home that they're taking you to isn't going to pay them the full 3% commission, they're going to tell you it has a cracked foundation. They're going to tell you, oh, this home is overpriced. Where, they'll say, but you need to see this home. Like we know you found this home on Zillow. We'll take you through it.
So they're going to push you to a home that they're going to get 3%.
They're going to get paid.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so being aware of that is one of the keys. So when you list your home with us, we tell you, look, we haven't disrupted this industry yet. Most people are clueless when they hire their cousin or whatever buyer agent. They don't realize that those agents are going to steer them away from homes because nobody wants to work for free. And it's not that, as a seller, you don't want to just say, yeah, work for free.
Right.
But the way that the structure works is you as the seller are supposed to pay the bill of the buyer's agent. Not one of our sellers wants to pay anything. But the traditional going rate is 3%. So if you pay 2%, you could probably get away with 2%. If you pay 2.5%, you'll be pretty safe. If you pay 3%, great. But saving the money with us, you could actually pay up to 5.5% to a buyer agent. And if you did that, those guys would be beating down your door, telling their clients, this is the best house I've ever seen, best condition. You need to buy this thing. It's going to be it's going to be gone.
Now.
Yeah, I have 12 other clients that I'm showing this home to tonight.
Yeah.
So you can play their game if you do need to sell quickly and still save money with us if you wanted to pay, because 3% is it's not a fixed commission. Every realtor you ever talk to, they'll fight you over this and tell you, it's not fixed, it's negotiable. But the truth is, if it's not 3%, they're gonna have heartburn in showing it to you. If it's 1%, they're gonna say things about the home and just say like, I'm not going to show this place.
There's roots growing in your water line.
Yeah. Look,
don't buy
I've
this
been
house.
This neighborhood is super sketch. Don't buy here.
Dude, that's crazy.
And we have thousands of examples. Like I'm not making that up. I have recordings. I have emails. I have screenshots. So agents that may be listening, they'll be like, he's making that up. I have thousands of screenshots, examples of this type of behavior here in Utah, Arizona.
And obviously, I mean, there's good eggs.
No question.
Right.
No question.
But the bad eggs, again, we all know bad eggs ruin a lot of the reputation for the good eggs.
And it's not even that they're bad eggs. It's that the commission structure is built that way. If it's set up to where the seller agent, that's where they make their money, but their client is the buyer, like it's just messed up. Like they should be paid by the buyer. Whoever you hire, you should pay. You shouldn't force somebody else to pay whoever you hire, right? So it's, again, nobody wants to work for free. So if I were an agent, on that model, I'd probably want to skip a home. That's where like it's hard to say a bad egg. It's just a screwed up industry.
True.
Yeah.
Well, they really, it boils down to they might not have your best interest in mind.
Yeah.
They have their best interest in mind. That might be the best home for you, but they're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
They're going to get paid more in a different home.
This is exactly, it's funny that you say this because there's a lot of healthcare brokers that are the exact same way. Like, how do we make the most money off of you? I don't really care if this is a good product for you, but we're gonna get it in here because we get a higher commission.
There's a lot of industries with
Yeah.
messed up commission models and incentives. It's not just the realtor industry,
Yeah.
but this industry, I mean, the most people get their worth or get their, like, build their net worth through home ownership in America. But the majority of people give away half of it in commissions, is what they don't realize.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
So is it safe to say that a lot of like traditional real estate agents hate you guys?
If you want
Is that fair?
traction on this specific podcast, go post it on a few realtor forums.
That'd be great. We'd do it. I would give a shit.
I don't want them to hate me though.
I want them to hate me. I'm never using an agent ever. I will never use an agent.
A homie agent.
A homie agent, yes, but I'll never use it. Yeah, traditional agent.
So you're in Utah and Phoenix.
And
Anywhere-
Vegas.
And Vegas.
And we're opening Boise and Denver.
Okay. What does it take? Are there certain requirements that you guys have to fulfill to get into a new state? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, it's heavily regulated by the government. So, we have to set up an insurance brokerage. We have to set up a mortgage company, title, real estate brokerage. So just setting those up, there's laws and hoops we have to jump through. But it's also the most powerful lobby group in the nation. So everybody in government has some real estate background. Like, it's a very high likelihood.
Yeah.
Like here in Utah, Governor Herbert is a former realtor. A lot of the other legislature, they're former realtors, land developers, different things there. And so it's really, we have to have excess cash to hire lobbyists so that when they try to change laws against us, we can fight against that. It's really difficult there. And then beyond that, I would say our biggest problem is that people can get a license and become a realtor in 3 weeks. So those numbers of 19,000 agents, like, that's growing. People just go get their license so you can make an extra $9,000 on a quick home sale. It's good money, and I'd recommend people going and getting their license for that reason, other than you're charging people an excessive amount of money. But what we see, so I mentioned this is the biggest problem we have is education. And it costs a fortune to educate people. Like, all of our billboards, all of our radio ads, like, I'm sure you guys have learned something.
Oh, dude,
just from
my
what I've
favorite
seen.
one is the best change since 2 Hour Church.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
So someone has my co-founder's father-in-law came up with an alternative to that. The best change since 10-minute church with COVID.
Are you gonna put that up? Are you gonna put that up?
Dude, that's amazing.
No. But the thing is, like, you can't educate people driving 80 miles an hour down the highway. Like, it's supposed to
No,
drive
you
people to our
can't.
website.
Right.
And it's easy, like, to just talk to your realtor buddy and they'll say, oh, homie's terrible. Don't go with homie, go with me. And you then might not even go to the website to check us out and understand what I just shared with you guys. So the hardest problem is homes that are selling so quick. Like, our clients' homes might get 10 separate offers. Only one person is going to win that home. The other 9 buyers that have agents that are competitors with us, their agents tell their buyers, homie lost you that offer. They didn't even look at it. And in reality, like, by law, we have to present every offer. And to get high client satisfaction scores, our clients want to see every offer.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't, but that doesn't stop them from saying, homie lost you this home.
Because people buying a home are not clients of homie.
No.
The people that list the home are your client. So it's like, I see what you're saying there.
Yeah,
it's
and
kind
so
of
there's forums, like, there's this 25,000 person forum on, like, it's like LDS Mamas or something like that on Facebook. And there's somebody will ask a question about homie, and it's so hard not to chime in because my wife and I share an account, and she's a member of it. But, like, somebody will say, oh, don't use homie. I bought a home that was listed by home, and it was terrible. And it was her agent that told her that.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, that was her experience as a
Yeah.
consumer with her agent telling her that. And that is so difficult. Like, how How do you overcome that with one home with 10 offers, only one person wins, so the other 9 buyers don't get it? And we have competitors that know that we're changing the market, and they tell their buyers, like, we should just avoid homey homes in the future.
Yeah.
You know, and the truth is, like, BYU recently did a study and showed that we're selling homes faster and for more money. So the statistics are all in our favor. Again, that's part of the consistency. That's, you know, part of our agents being experienced, not doing 3 deals only a year. So it's...
And is there something too
terrible.
where if I have an agent, but I still find houses on Homey, right? And I don't win the house I want. Homey can't reach out, like an agent can't reach out from Homey and say, hey, sorry you didn't win. Here's like 12 other homes that were looking right at you, because then because they already have an agent, so it'd be another agent like poaching a client of an agent.
It's
right?
illegal. It's illegal for us to reach out.
So you couldn't even if you wanted to, which would be amazing, to say, hey, we know you didn't win. Here, you know, or do it for free. Don't do it as an agent, but do it as something else, like Homey just saying, oh, dude, here's 10 other homes that were exactly what you were looking for. You can't even do that.
We can't even do
that. Because that would at least give some, not leave such a bad taste in their mouth.
Well, and here's an example. I posted on Homey 2 weeks ago on how proud I am of our agents. And a buyer that hired a competitor commented and said, no, you're terrible and your agents are terrible. And he said, I was sitting outside for an hour waiting to get into the home, one of your Homey homes, and your agent didn't respond. Well, what we do for all of our clients is we put a lockbox on your door that has your key, and only realtors can come unlock that lockbox to go show homes whenever. And our client was like, yeah, it's open, go show the home whenever. So we put the lockbox on. Well, this guy's agent didn't have a key. He didn't bring his realtor key. He forgot it. Well, that realtor didn't tell his client that.
Of course he didn't, right?
Of course he didn't.
Yeah.
We can't get in.
Yeah, and it's Homey's fault. So the realtor was calling us, and the realtor was actually really kind. Like, we have everything recorded. We have all of the time frames of when they call us. They were like, hey, you know, I don't have my key. Can you get it open? And it took 20 minutes for our realtor to respond, which I don't think is the end of the world. I mean, they called 5 times in those 20 minutes. And then at 20 minutes, our realtor responded, called the seller. The seller's like, I'm not home. I can't open it. But our neighbor has a key. Call them. So we called the neighbor, got the neighbor to come open it. They got in the home in 35 minutes. But the comment on LinkedIn, he's like, I tried to buy one of your Homey homes. Your realtor didn't respond. They're unresponsive. They're terrible. I cannot, like right now, he's under contract. He ended up buying it with his realtor. And legally, I can't tell him that story.
You can't even tell him that.
So it's a bad comment on my post that his realtor told him
you
how
can't
awful
say
we
it.
are.
Is that like so frustrating to be like,
There's got to be a back door to that.
I want to
There's
tear
gotta be
this
a way-
guy.
There's got to be a way that there's a team, like a happiness department team that aren't agents, that aren't like, that you can actually then combat some of this just like over the top niceness.
If I were to reach out, you know, like we would then be turned into the division of real estate, as we are already.
All the time.
I bet.
All the time. So I had a lawyer who spent over 40 hours just working a few investigations that were sent our way. So like we have got to dot every I, cross every T, or we're the bad guy. And that's why this industry hasn't been disrupted. It is so incredibly hard and frustrating. Yeah, like half of our reviews are from competitors or their clients. Doesn't mean that we don't have bad experiences. I mean, we've had clients that have had bad experiences, and we make mistakes, and we've had to refund people and say, yeah, look, we messed up.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
happens
any company.
everywhere.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like
Happens
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
But I mean, like it's crazy. It's crazy that like they've come together. Like all these realtors, we have a chain of comments saying, hey, let's all go on and leave Homey bad reviews, and they do. And we have all of those listed showing all these realtors that had that conversation. And there was one good realtor in there, took a screenshot of that and sent it to us and said, hey, I'm not participating in this, but all these other guys are doing this to you. Want to make you aware.
Should use that to your advantage. Billboard that says, 2.4 stars on Google has a 99% customer satisfaction. Something
Yeah.
It's like, we'll take it all day long. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, not that I don't even know what your reviews are, but it sounds like you can just get, the masses can come bombard you to screw your ratings. on some of these sites that do matter in a lot of cases.
They all matter. I mean, reviews matter for all of us. And so to me, like, honestly, if you guys asked any of your friends who bought a home that wasn't with Homey, if they said, how was your experience with your realtor? Did you look at any Homey homes? You'll probably hear, oh yeah, it was terrible. It was awful. And it's like, well, you use their direct competitor. It's like, did you expect a taxi driver to say good things about Uber? You know,
Right.
Not going to happen.
No.
So,
No.
But yeah, so that's the biggest challenge. So when we go into every market, we have to have a ton of cash, flood the market with messaging, educate as much as possible, get actual clients to then leave us reviews, actual clients to spread the word. And the good thing is it is a no-brainer. It's, use Homey and save $10,000. So we do testimonials and we ask our clients, we don't tell them what they save. They tell us, like, I saved 14 grand. I saved 26 grand. I saved 10. You know, like, it's insane, but we average about $10,000 in savings. Like, I don't know of what company can offer any consumer a $10,000 savings versus the traditional method.
Yeah,
right?
the education, like you said, that seems like that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
What percentage of your agents that you have currently come from other firms?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah. I mean,
So nobody was like, hey, I'm getting my real estate license. I want to go work for Homey. Like, it's pretty much 99.9%.
Yeah.
Or I worked for X company. I want to come work for you.
We
'cause
try
you're
to find
disrupting.
experienced agents that have closed several deals that know the process. That's easier for us than
Right.
having to retrain. But we have hired people right out of school, and we have helped people that in our company that said, hey, I want to be a realtor and move away from a different division, and we'll have them go through school. One of the problems, though, with this industry, like, one of the past presidents of our association, he did a mandatory realtor training for all the newbies, and our new realtors were in that meeting, and he's just telling everybody how terrible Homey is and how to beat Homey.
And your employees are sitting there in the
It's
training.
our own association that we pay dues to.
Yes.
You know,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
And so
dude.
one of our employees recorded it so that we could send it to our association and be like, hey guys, can you help us out?
Can we not do this when
Can
we
not
have?
do this?
Oh my
That's
gosh.
awesome.
Well, it's true though. I mean, I do remember there was one time you had like 3 to 5 billboards in a row. I thought that was pretty clever, because it was just like, you know, just the messaging. It did kind of help. Like, okay, I get a little bit more here, but one billboard cannot do it. And I don't even. I mean, you probably don't do commercials, but I don't even remember. I hardly remember social media ads, but I probably don't search for the right stuff, and it doesn't pop up for me. But
We blast social media
man, I
ads.
imagine.
We do commercials. We do radio ads. You name it, we're doing it.
yeah.
So this is partly why we've had to raise money. It costs so much, but we're trying to get in front of the public as much as humanly possible.
Who was your first raise with?
It was with a company called Peak Ventures and an angel out of Park City, who's one of my favorite people, Mike Leventhal, one of the best investors in the country.
Yeah.
He was a VC in Silicon Valley for 25 years, then moved to Park City, and he's funded and been the angel investor for most of these startups around.
So he was
Yeah.
an angel for you, and then you did a round after that.
We did it in conjunction with him, and Peak Ventures is
Okay,
now
so
called
kinda like-
Album.
Okay.
And then we've raised from Kickstart and a bunch of other local firms, AIM. So many people have put money into our company at this point. And
Yeah.
I think everybody sees that it's inevitable. Like, it's going to work and be big. And here in Utah, it is working. It's going exceptionally well. And just opening up these other states, we're seeing all that same kickback. And that's why we have to keep raising money.
Right.
It's just every state's a new fight.
Yeah.
Next.
It's almost like a new company.
Yeah, and that's why we can't just launch nationwide and make it like, hey,
Yeah.
anybody can use us. You got to get licensed in every single state. You have to fight the different lobby groups. You have to fight the associations in certain instances. You have to fight the divisions of real estate, the government, because they're so used to doing business with the local associations that they're buddies. And it doesn't mean they're corrupt. It's just that they're buddies, and they're used to doing
Yeah.
things the
Oh,
same
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
And there's some that are corrupt.
Old boys, dude. The old boys group.
So next 5-10 years, how many states do you want to be in?
I think we'll be nationwide in 5 years.
5 years
Yep.
nationwide. Okay.
Yeah, this next year I think we'll raise a big chunk of money and we'll open up like maybe 10 metro areas. And then after we prove out 10 metro areas, there's going to be another bigger VC that says you've proved 10 metro areas on top of the 4 you already had. So you know, like, let's go to the rest. And so it's just a fundraising game. So you just raise more money. So our seed round, we raised, a couple million. Our Series A, we raised 10 million. Our Series B, we raised 23 million. This next round, we expect to raise 50 to 60 million. And that's going to get us in 10 new metros. So, it's pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because sometimes when you get into those Series D, E, F, you go down the line, you think sometimes the perception of the company is like, damn, they can't make it work. That's why they have to keep raising money sometimes, right? But in this regard, it's just like it works so damn well, and you want to dominate. You have to, you're going to have to raise, or eventually maybe just raise, like we need $8 billion and we're just going to, we're going all at the same time. It's a, 3-year plan, just domino effect across the country.
Yeah, and all these venture capitalists, they are brilliant. And they're not going to give you money if they aren't going to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so it's a battle. Like we pitch investors almost every other day. Like investors call in and just say, hey, we're thinking, we want to know about your business, and we want to keep them interested because we don't, once we prove out the areas in the plan that we have, then we want to raise money and go to these next areas. We could just stay in Utah, or just stay in Vegas, Phoenix, where we are, and build a huge company. But the thing is, like, we know this is needed nationwide.
Yeah.
And it's not about, the money, it's about helping the consumer save cash and changing the industry. That's why people have joined our business. That's why realtors are coming from other companies too. They want to see change in this industry. Not everybody that's joined us is making the same amount of money they were making before. The passion is what has brought people over.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I want to be part of disrupting an industry, and that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah. And going back to, I was thinking it was, you're really starting a new company in a new metropolitan area because they don't know who Homie is, and you're going back to square one. It's like, crap, we got to start this fight all over again. Educate. The real estate agents are going to give us bad reviews. It's like, all right, back to square one. But
there's a little bleed. Like,
is there a little bleed? Okay.
Yeah, there's people that live in Idaho that have family here.
I guess if you're knocking down these cities that are, at least closer to each other, state
Vegas,
to state. Yes.
Arizona.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, so
But if you went from here all of a sudden to Georgia, you're in Atlanta, it'd be,
Yeah, but what we did with Arizona, because of that, this was fun. We actually, as a company, decided to run for Senate. There was a Senate seat open. Jeff Flake
Yes, I
was the
remember
senator.
this.
Jeff Flake.
Yep. He was a senator, and he decided to retire from politics. And so his seat was open, and we hired a consulting marketing agency, and they gave us that idea, and my head of marketing just loved it, came to me, and within like 15 seconds, I'm like, do it. So we did Homie for Senate, homieforsenate.com. We put up 500 campaign signs throughout the city of Phoenix, 4 feet by 4 feet, huge campaign signs that said, vote for Homie. And it was hilarious.
Dude, that was amazing.
But guess who hated it? The Realtor Association.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right? So they called all the news stations saying, these guys are confusing voters. They're making a mockery of this. And so I was interviewed on all the TV stations, which was great for us, right?
Right, yeah.
This is what worked. So these reporters are like, hey, so tell us about your Vote for Homie campaign. Are you confusing voters? And we're like, look, if Arizonans can't figure out that Homie isn't a real candidate, you guys have bigger issues. And they're like, no, our people are, that you're right. And we're like,
They're smart.
They had to report on it, but everybody knew it was, some random company just, using that as a PR play.
Yeah, that's a brilliant campaign.
And we were happy to win if people would have voted for us. We were the most fiscal conservative candidate. If you look at all of the money we would save Arizonans, it added up to over $1 billion. So if people wanted a tax break, we would
Vote for Homie.
Automatically vote for Homie. You'd have $1 billion tax break as a city, and that would put on average $10,000 back into the pocket of every citizen. So we had a really good campaign.
Yeah, you did.
It was like all put together. It was
Dude, that's awesome.
It was fun.
I love it. Okay, we're gonna switch
If I
gears.
ever ran, dude, I would still do orange soda at the drinking fountains.
Orange soda, the drinking fountains.
Yeah. Back in like elementary days, dude, we're gonna put in orange soda.
Fruit
Those kids
punch.
always won.
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
Dude, they always won.
Recently on LinkedIn, you've been doing a lot of stuff about mental health and Stay, right?
Yep.
Tell me about that. What is Stay?
Yeah, and Room Here is another event. I'm actually on the board of Room Here. We're doing our launch today. So Room Here.
Was that Room Here?
Room Here. Like there's room here to be vulnerable. There's room here to talk about mental health.
Okay.
And you're doing, so I'm on the one of the subcommittees, the board for sure. I mean, you're going to speak, you're on the panel, right? For the mental health panel.
Yep, that's right. And, it's just become a passion of mine. Like typically when you think of mental health, I don't know how it is for you guys, but when I've talked to people, you typically tie it to like mental illness or suicide.
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, there's something called mental fitness. And it's just understanding, like, what's in your head. It's becoming, like, when you're defensive, when you're offended by somebody, you're putting meaning on something that's not there. In most instances, like, people are trying to be offensive. Like, if you're arguing with your wife, it's like, I can't believe you said this. It's like, well, that's not what I meant. But, it's like you automatically went there in your head. And so there's mental fitness tools that can help you stay level-headed. And to me, like, we've rolled this out at my company. We had a therapist come by, partly because of all the backlash we've had. It is painful. It does hurt. And you do take it personal. Like all the hate mail that I've received, I've taken that personally. And so using these tools, I can see that I can now like look at it and say, no, that's on that person. That person's angry. They're full of venom. They just want to come after me. I don't have to take that on in my life. And so I've used these tools to really help me stay balanced and grounded. And every company has drama, right? There's drama at work almost nonstop. But rolling this tool out, we've helped to eliminate drama in the workplace. But the best thing is to just be vulnerable and open and talking about your mental health, because raising money from venture capitalists hasn't been easy, and the pressure that I feel to execute at times has been overwhelming. And again, that's a choice that I'm choosing to be overwhelmed, and understanding that it's a choice helps me to know that I can choose to get out of that overwhelm or choose to get out of stress or anxiety. So it's really helped given me tools to go into my board meetings 100% confident, and what if they're mad at me? What if they want to fire me? What will that mean about me? I know that my worth never changes. And so as I've learned these principles and understood my worth never changes, I've been doing my best. If they want to treat me poorly in a board meeting, that's on them. They probably had a bad day. I know my board. They actually are very kind individuals. And if there is something they want to challenge me on, they don't, come after me on it, but they'll point out like, hey, why are we struggling here? Like you said you were going to do this, and I can explain what happened. And if they want to part ways with me, that's their decision. Now that I've raised as much money as I've had, they have control. But like getting to a place of like, what's your biggest fear? And then working on that to be okay. So like one of my fears was getting fired. After we raised enough money, I'm like, my company's going to be taken from me. But instead of sitting there stressing, worrying about it, I've worked on that fear to where if that happens, I know that doesn't mean anything about me. I'm still me. My worth doesn't change. That's their choice. I'll fight for myself and say like, here's why I think you might be wrong. Or if I am consistently missing my numbers, and this board who's invested money in us, they find a CEO that they think can take this company and make their equity worth so much more, it's going to make my equity so much more. And so why would I want to get in the way of that? So I've worked through that mentally. So Room Here is bringing mental health to the workplace and creating more of an open dialogue around it, so there's not that stigma and kind of like fear around it.
Right.
And since I've opened up, telling my own employees, like one of my company meetings, I got up in front of everybody and just said, guys, I've been trying to please you, and I care about what you think. Like I've put so much meaning on what they think about me. I eliminated that. And so I'm like, all these company meetings from now on, I'm going to be myself. And I'm going to stop caring about what you think of me. And because that was what was best for my own mental health. And I didn't know how that'd be received. They just gave me an applause immediately. And that was really touching. They were like, yeah, we want you to be you. We don't want you to fake it and try to be controlled. So I'm so much more authentic and real, and I feel free from a lot of that like mental anxiety of like, oh, I got to appear this way, I got to look this way, I got to do this, I got to drive this car, I got to have this house, I got to have this image, where none of that matters, and that's all meaning you're putting on different things. So like going to the other aspect of things of suicide, I've had family in my life that have committed suicide, and as I've gotten to see some of those experiences, I have a really close family member that attempted suicide, and I stopped him in the middle of it. And I just caught him, and it was like a miracle that I was there at that time. But leading up to that point, I could see where his mind was taking him. And we dwell on negativity, we dwell on thoughts, and then there's a certain point where you can spiral out of control.
Absolutely.
You don't get sleep, and then with that sleep, there's physical, chemical reactions that can then cause you to then go into a deep, dark depression. And so I want to steer as clear as that, so I just don't even want to have stress, anxiety, or overwhelm in my life at all. So, that's so far into the spectrum, but as I've opened up and shared these principles with people that work with me, I've had so many come up and tell me they're suicidal, or tell me that like, man, my life is hell right now. And I'm like, how are you doing your job? How great is the client receiving, like what kind of experience is that for the client? They might be putting on a show, but then they go back and they just crash. And we all have people like that work all around us, and we don't know because we're taught, as I was as a cowboy up, man up, don't talk about your feelings. That's sissy stuff, but the truth is we're all human. We all have feelings that we need to express, or we're going to tuck those in, and they're going to blow up later on somebody or on ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's where, and then Stay is just a clothing company I found online that they're headquartered here in Utah, and I love them and I support them. And this little A is a delta sign, and it means change. So it's, anybody who's looking to take their life, like the best thing you can do is stay, but change, grow. There's an excitement, there's exhilaration to learning and broadening yourself and your skills. And so I love that mission of change while staying. Like my wife and I have both become life coaches in this program that we've studied, or mental fitness coaches is what we now are called. But she's not the same woman I married, and I'm so glad she's changed. She's grown. She's so incredibly intelligent, and she's becoming more intelligent. And I'm trying to keep up with her, learning these principles of how to help others heal, not cope. That's one of the differences. Like I hate that current mental health typically tells you, take a pill. This is who you are. You'll never be able to change, and you're going to have to cope with this. Yeah. So I choose to have a different belief that you can actually heal, and that you have control over that more than you know. Not to say there aren't real illnesses or struggles that medicine couldn't help, because there are, and some of my close family members, doctors and therapists that have given them medicine and diagnosed them. It's been life-changing for them in a good way. But for the most part, I think we can choose responsibility for our own thoughts, feelings, and actions and grow as individuals. So super passionate about that stuff.
That's awesome, dude. That's amazing stuff.
I appreciate you being open and vulnerable about that. Because it is a big issue. It's a big topic. And I think a lot of people, I imagine just being an employee of Homie and having their CEO come in and say those things, like allows them to feel like they can be open. Like just that, right? Just that meeting that you had, that alone, I imagine allowed a lot of people to be like, you know what? I feel the same way. Like I want to be myself. I want to be open and vulnerable.
Yeah. I want to stop worrying about what other people think about me.
Yeah.
Like that's a super common thing, right? And so every Wednesday from noon to 1, I hold an open meeting. And so with these principles that I've learned, like today's Thursday, yeah. So yesterday at noon, we talked about boundaries. We talked about micromanaging. Like micromanaging, you wouldn't think is a mental health issue, but it is. You're not trusting that individual. Why? What's going on up here in your mind where you're not trusting that person? Like to a degree, people need to be trained. They need to be taught. So that's not necessarily micromanagement. But if they're trained and taught and they're experts in their field, you stepping in is only a reflection of your own fear. you're scared something's not going to get done. And then when you follow up with somebody as well, you're following up in fear because you think they didn't do the job right.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of following up as like a helpful leader, like, hey, how's this coming? What can I do to help? What other resources do you need? Do you need to brainstorm? Help me remove barriers. Like, it's a totally different follow-up. And that's all up here, but we're not trained on it. Like, I don't know why we didn't learn this as children in school, but I'm telling you, like, it's helped me to be a better leader and not manage in fear and not, and get rid of that. Again, that liberty, that freedom that I feel because of these tools, it's been insane. That's where like, I probably sound like a fanatic. I've had a few people tell me I'm a fanatic in it, but
it's a good thing to be a fanatic about, man.
I agree.
Sounds like guys are doing amazing stuff. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, we end every episode with a few questions on the lighter side.
Great.
I got something new I'm going to try out here.
If Brandon threw some other stuff your way, I'm ready.
Oh boy,
We're gonna see if you can tell me these songs by their lyrics.
Probably can. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know if they're new. Probably not.
No, not new. We're going old school.
I'm an old guy.
Okay. Police think they can see me lean. I'm tint, so I ain't easy to be seen. When you see me ride by, they can see the gleam, and my shine on the deck and the TV screen. Ride with a new chick like she hold up next to the PlayStation controller is a full clip, and my pistola turn a jacka into a coma.
Okay. So
my gosh, dude.
So first off, when it comes to like hip hop and rap, I mean, I'm bad with lyrics just as it is, and most hip hop rap lyrics I can't even understand, so I just try to make it up. So I have no clue, but I'm going to guess that
Give us a
that's
hint.
Nelly. Is that Nelly?
Give
No,
us like
this
years.
is-
Like, is this before your high school?
No, this is like 2006.
Oh hell. Okay.
Okay,
I was gonna
yeah.
say if this was the '90s, dude, I could maybe get close.
That's the thing. You hit me with the 90s. I'm good. Early 2000s, maybe.
2006.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, there's
2006.
one on here I think you're
Who
going to
was
get.
that? Who was that, by the way?
That was Chameleon Air, Riding.
I couldn't tell you one
What?
song that
I don't
he
even know what that
if
is.
you hear the song, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know
Oh,
exactly
yeah,
what
no,
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice,
All right.
dude.
Next one. Okay.
Oh,
I never
boy.
would have gotten that ever.
No.
When I pull up out front, you see the Benz on dubs. When I roll 20 deep, it's always drama in the club. Now they heard I roll with Dre. Everybody show me love.
Dre.
When you sell like Eminem, you get plenty of groupie love.
I'm thinking 50 Cent.
Ding, ding, ding.
50 Cent. 50 Cent.
50
dude.
Cent in the
Is
club.
Is he a Dre guy?
Did I say that right? 50?
50.
Yeah, you can't go
50.
50.
'Kay.
5's 50 Cent.
That's not the one that I thought you were going to get. I think you're going to get
50
this one.
Cent. That was
Okay.
good.
All right.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean,
I knew that song too because I knew the rhythm.
Yeah.
And obviously I could go to the beat, but I'm not going to
Don't
do
go
that.
to the beat.
I'm not gonna.
That makes it too easy.
Okay. You hear the Echo Man. I seen the best go because he ain't have this medal. I'm a hustler's hustler, a pusher's pusher. You busta a customer.
Huh?
yeah, I mean, this white boy from Montana is not going to get that one.
So
okay.
this is the one that
Is this a
I
little
said-
older?
it's like 2005, 2006. I said, "B Fish, what song?" And he
did,
said,
did he know it?
"Yeah." He said, "Make It Rain."
Oh, Make It Rain.
Fat Joe featuring Lil
He
Wayne.
just texted that to me yesterday.
Make it what?
That's funny. He texted me these lyrics yesterday.
Did he?
And I said, what? And then he played the clip, and I haven't listened to that clip message. And then I saw him drive by.
You would have got that.
I would have nailed it.
You would have nailed it.
Make It Rain.
I don't even know
Make
who
it
the
rain.
hell these people are.
So Brandon Fish and I, for Entrada, we did a recruiting event up at BYU, Idaho. And we just listened to hip hop the whole way up and just rocked. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
So that was one of the songs he played that I didn't know.
Okay.
So that's where I'm like, because
That's from
texted it to
him.
me.
He,
I'm like, yeah,
he
I
made
know.
it seem like that was like your jam. Like,
I know. Well, he made it sound like that
So
in the
good.
text message.
He gave
too.
you a hint.
Yeah.
He was teeing it up for you.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. So that's not usually what we have. We usually do Would You Rather, which I
Yeah,
have
that's the
some.
only three songs.
Brandon
Audio
Fish,
message.
see the little
Oh, boy.
unread.
Yep.
But look at this.
He's
Look at-
got
see,
it there,
he's
dude.
got it.
Play it. Hey, play it into the mic.
Play that.
Well, I don't know if it's appropriate here. Brandon Fish.
You know,
Show.
Fish is sending you the clean,
What if
ver-
it's
clean
Brandon
version.
Fish is in his church's.
What if it's him singing?
I hope so. Please tell me it's him singing. Yeah. I make it rain. Yep.
Make it rain. He said, "Do you remember that on the way to Idaho?" And I'm like, "Nope, I don't. Sorry."
Dude, that's amazing.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. We have one would you rather question that we ask every time.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
yeah, and that's
Okay.
mine. Well, I usually just deliver it. Okay. Would you rather stand on the tee box of the U.S. Open and Tiger Woods comes up and he grabs his driver and he takes the driver swing right to your shin? Okay, that's the first part. So he's going to swing as hard as he can, just a driver right to your shin. And you're just right to the front of the shin. Or Barry Bonds, home run swing.
Steroid era.
Yeah. Just juiced Barry Bonds. Home run swing to the middle of your back.
I'd probably go with the middle of my back, Barry Bonds.
Can you elaborate on maybe why the back?
Because I mean, when I walk around my house and barely ding my shin on anything, I cry like a baby. And it's not a swing
true.
like a Tiger Woods
Very
swing.
true.
So I'm just thinking I would be down for years if that hit a shin.
Okay.
Love it.
I like it.
Okay. All right. Would you rather have your knees or your elbows bend backwards like a flamingo?
So it doesn't hurt. You're just
you're
choosing
just-
like.
it's just backwards, right? So you're not bending this way. You're bending.
Like if somebody,
Oh, so you can't go both ways. You just gotta. Only go one
your
direction.
arm is just like inverted and it goes.
yeah,
the other
and
way.
it doesn't hurt. It's not like
No,
somebody
not
torturing me.
painful. No. This is just for the rest of your life. It's either legs or elbows.
Yeah, I could see it being maybe more beneficial with my legs. Like I'm thinking of like if I was like carrying a football, like if your knee could bend backwards, you could do some pretty crazy jukes.
You kind of run like an ostrich, though.
But I'm just saying, like in the moment, you got to plant your leg and do like some turn. If you could push off and your muscles could flex and go a different direction,
I've heard ostriches can run like
you'd
60
be
miles an
untouchable.
hour.
Yeah. Love it. Okay.
All right.
Legs.
I just don't. I couldn't imagine any benefit for the arms doing that.
No.
Like throwing, I don't know if that would necessarily help.
Maybe you could throw backwards like trick passes.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
guess.
But maybe it's
Yeah, like ultimate frisbee.
see, this way. But if I could really throw my arm, it would bend this way, right?
Yeah.
So you maybe you could throw further.
I was
I
thinking
don't
like
know.
ultimate frisbee. You could like see this motion is kind of hard, but if it just wrapped around your head and the frisbee would actually
right
go
over
that
there,
way.
dude. Like, yeah, I don't know.
It'd always be like, dude, you could skip a rock a mile because it would be this direction. You wouldn't have to sidearm it, dude. It'd be a natural
No.
sidearm. Okay.
Would you rather fight Mike Tyson for one round, or talk like him for the rest of your life?
Oh, fight him in a second.
One round, done.
I would want to do that just right now, not out of anger, but to say I fought Mike
Yes.
Tyson.
I got knocked
Could
out
you-
by
can
Mike
I have
Tyson.
headgear?
I just run around.
You know he's coming back. He's been
I've
training.
seen
Yeah,
that,
you seen that?
And I've seen some video where he still looks quick
Yeah, he looks fast.
and dangerous.
I think he'd kill you even right now with one
Yeah.
punch.
Would you rather? So this is noticeably. Would you rather noticeably wear a push-up bra?
Hold on. Notice everybody. Can
Everybody
see it.
knows. Yeah, you know.
Like you're just a dude walking around with a
Yeah,
pusher bra.
or stiletto heels all day, every day.
How long would you have to wear the bra for?
All day, every day.
Oh, all
forever.
day, every day. Yeah.
This is forever.
I mean, you can take it off at night, I guess.
yeah,
but
probably the
so
bra.
you can sleep. You don't have to sleep with it on.
No,
But
but
you-
everybody knows. Yeah.
Yeah, the bra for sure.
Okay.
No
Uh,
hills.
No,
No.
that would be that'd be awkward. It's awkward for women. Like they don't like doing.
Can you
it.
wear like a man's Spanx over
Sure.
your bra?
I don't know. I
You
mean,
can't
you just
hide it.
you just
there's
know.
there's
You just know. Like you walk
know
around,
it.
you're like,
Yeah. You
I
can see it
see
through like t-shirts.
Johnny's wearing his push-up bra. I can see
You
it.
can see like the wire.
Yeah.
Hey, this whole work from home thing, like that's what I'm saying. Like
Uh,
nobody,
yeah,
doesn't,
it's
true.
no one's gonna
It's
see
just-
it.
You'd be
Zoom
fine.
calls are just neck up. There's just no.
Okay. So, would you rather have, so as wide as your mouth can open, okay? So, open mouth size nipples or a nipple sized mouth?
Your mouth.
Yeah, I
what
mean,
Like, right, so you can like,
so my nipples are the size of as wide as I can open my
as
mouth.
wide as you can open your mouth, or your
Yeah.
mouth is the size as
Or
your
you-
nipples.
Yeah,
No way
I
in
don't
hell.
know.
No, it's your nipples are huge.
yeah, because those are hidden.
You
Like,
couldn't
who
eat. What are you
cares?
eating? You're talking
Small
the
bites of
nipple or
pizza.
the areola?
Yeah,
Like
the whole thing.
The whole thing. We're
Yeah.
talking like the whole, not just
But
like.
still, you're just, you're going to have a little.
Oh my gosh, there's no way you couldn't eat
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. Would you rather wear someone else's dirty underwear or use their toothbrush
Toothbrush.
Just once?
for a week? I'm gonna say a week. I didn't clarify. I'm gonna say for a week.
Yeah, toothbrush for sure.
Toothbrush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you pick someone else?
I'm thinking that most toothbrushes get rinsed off and cleaned.
I
That's what
use my wife's
Yeah.
toothbrush all the time. Never tell her.
I don't know. What if it's like a really dirty mouth, like
thinking. Yeah.
Huh.
gingivitis?
Well, everybody's underwear is dirty, so
Yeah.
there's a higher likelihood there.
Probably get. Yeah. I'm not gonna go there. Never mind. Would you rather eat poison ivy or a handful of wasps?
Ooh, probably the ivy. I don't know the pain difference, but I just don't want to eat bugs.
I've never had poison ivy. Have you guys?
No.
Stinging nettle, yes.
My little boy had
but
stinging
not.
nettle,
I don't think I've ever felt poison ivy.
Same.
Me neither.
I don't know.
I
I
can't.
don't. I
That's-
think the
that's-
poison ivy. I'd go with that over the wasps. That's like a live animal just buzzing around, and dude, it's stinging you, and you got to chew it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or you chew it before they sting you. I don't know.
Oof.
Crunch them up. Okay, I need you to think of the person that you dislike the most. Would you rather be stranded on an island alone or with the person that you dislike the most?
Probably with a person I dislike the most.
Just learn to love them.
I think I could teach him mental health principles.
Yeah, that's right, man. Good.
Would you rather poop your pants once a year just by yourself would you rather poop your pants once a year in public, everybody sees it, everybody knows, or every day in private?
Oh, public in a heartbeat.
Public, I would
Yeah.
choose that.
But
Yeah.
is it random? Like, can you choose?
No, yeah, you don't get to choose. It's
You
just
just
like
know it's coming
you
in
might be in a
public.
board meeting and like, whoops,
Yep.
Sorry,
gotta go.
guys.
Sorry, guys.
I'm out.
You know what happened. Yeah.
This happens once a year, you know.
Or
I mean, to me, you can blame that on being sick, you know? Because
Yeah.
I've had friends, family that were in instances that they were just, they had diarrhea and
yeah.
bad
Dude,
timing.
I've
Bad
sharded at
timing.
church before. I had to go home. Came back. I didn't even tell my wife. I left and I came back. She's like, "Where you been for 25 minutes?" I'm like,
Getting a donut and a drink.
I sharded. I just had to change my underwear.
All right, last.
That's why the toothbrush, I'd go with
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
All right, last one. Would you rather drink 2 liters of your urine or 2 liters of sweat?
Who sweat?
I'm gonna say somebody else's sweat.
Just did you
I'm
know
gonna say a random person for both. A random
Yeah.
person, 2 liters of urine or 2 liters
I
of
just
sweat.
don't even think it's possible to do that with sweat or with urine. I don't think you can. I mean, maybe in little increments. So I don't know if you can with sweat, but it seems like sweat. Have
you ever seen Jackass?
Well, yeah.
There's one of their things they do is Steve, the big guy.
Hey, I've
Big
seen
heavy guy, yeah.
Yeah, I
The-
saw Bear Grylls drink urine.
Did he?
It was like in Australia, dude. It was
Steve-O
like in the-
drank the big guys. They had him running on a treadmill and they collected it.
Of
And
his
he
sweat.
drank his sweat.
But liters, dude. You said 2 liters.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I saw him do that and I wanted to gag and throw up.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
But I can't think of drinking urine either because that'd be awful.
Hell, if it was my own urine and my own sweat, I think I would probably take my urine.
Drink a lot of water.
Maybe I get replenished with some of the vitamins that just
Maybe.
like,
Did you
reflect that way.
did you choose one?
Sweat for sure.
Sweat. You're going sweat.
Oh yeah.
Random person sweat.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, that's it, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. It's been awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the pizza.
And cut.